Eight, they're fairly even teams at the moment. I mean, with Elite Eight sitting in fourth and Eanix sitting just behind in fifth place, it really could be a close match in anyone's game. I think, as it's been shown earlier today, it's really about how the draft is going to go between these two teams and how they're going to utilize that draft that they decide to pick up.
Definitely, I must agree with you on that. Anyway, just quick run through of the rosters of both teams. On the side of Eanix, we have Trophies, I Angry You Die, Rubber Monkey, Truffless, and Kosh. And of course, on the side of E8, we have Official Hein, Hunt Jaeger, Anime Save Me, and iLock. Coming into this game, like you said, they are very even in terms of where they stand in the bracket. However, Elite 8 is at 15 points, and of course, we have Eanix sitting at a mere low 8 points.
Oh, I mean, you know, there's still room to catch up throughout that because a lot of teams aren't able to gain points because they don't make it through to the semi-finals phase, and that's where a lot of the points are gained from there onwards as well. So I think that, as I said before, I really do think Eanix have a good chance up against Elite 8. They are slightly behind in points, but I think these teams are going to be a fairly even matchup.
Yep. Then again, Elite 8 they are the crown champion of Southeast Asia Live's summer as well. So, I mean, we say it will be a close match based on point standings and where they are seated currently in the bracket itself. But you know what? I'll not talk anymore. Without further ado, and I believe draft is ready, so let's just hop right into draft. Okay, my draft isn't working at all, so I'm not sure if draft is ready. All right, so we are into draft. We are into draft right now. I apologize to all the viewers out there. So, like I said, Elite 8, they are the crown champions of the summer season of Vainglory 8 Live. So, that gives them an advantage in terms of, say, psychological advantage against that of Eanix, because Eanix will always and constantly, when you are going up against a very good team like that of Elite 8, you might play a bit more reserved, per se. But we all know in Vainglory, the team that has got the best calculated form of aggression would most commonly or definitely come out on top.
And with that, we see that Baron being banned out. And I won't be surprised. I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if the Grace was banned out, but in this case it's left open. And you were talking about aggression, and if we know aggression in terms of play style, picking up that Grace would be an excellent choice, but make sure you're going to complement it with other heroes in the draft. Right now we see the side of Eanix, I believe, on the blue side, picking up that Lyra as their first pick.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the Baron and Idris, yeah, so there you go. They have that Fox secured for the side of Elite 8. So with that Baron, with that Idris being banned out, Vox would be the most viable laner. And I'm quite surprised the side of Eanix did not settle for that early Vox, or even, like you said, that Grace as well, because Grace is just so strong in the current meta, especially in the early game. And when you hit your level 8 and you have an Echo, you can double burst too. As well, with your Divine Intervention coming up from the side of Elite 8, we do see a Samuel being banned out. They might be picking up their own mage, which we see very common. There are a couple of times, though, we do see, a Koshka or even, say, Castro being picked up. But for the side of Elite, they have been playing a lot of, say, Baptiste. There you go. I actually forgot the name, because Official Hein and even Anime Save Me, Baptiste is such a valuable roamer, or rather a pickup for them, because they can just flex it between both of these players.
I agree with you there that Baptiste in this case is still open to flex pick, but I think a lot of what we've seen today is that CP role for Baptiste, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets put in there. However, it might just be in terms of how they want to answer to the comp coming out from Eanix at the moment. So they did go for that Kestrel pick second, and we know this Lyra and Kestrel both being very good. But in terms of when I was saying Grace needs someone to complement her, I think it's also important that there's heroes that complement the Lyra and have good synergy with their playstyle. And I mean, not just like how Black Feather would say, you look pretty today, but Black Feather would be a good choice in that case. However, they go for the Scarf instead. It could always be this jungle Scarf to get the levels up quicker, and you put the Weapon Power Kestrel in lane, no doubt.
Yep, it will definitely be that, I'm sure. And I'm quite liking the team comp coming up from the side of Eanix at this point in time. They are known to quite play this very aggressive, long poke, long range kind of team comp. So it is just down to how Elite 8 will respond. As long as Elite 8 can pick up a hero that can dive in really deep. But then there is always a consideration of that Lyra's Bright Bulwark as well. So that is something that Elite 8 has to put in mind, keep in mind when picking up the last hero. The last hero could actually they could just go for that Celeste, just try to outrange, outpoke that Kestrel, and even that of, say, Scarf, with that Baptiste being in the roamer role. That will work as well, because they are going to go for that glaive. Like I said, they need someone that can be in the front line, that can be, be the initiator. But then glaive, a roam glaive, I'm not sure how a roam glaive will do into that of a roam Lyra, only because, then again, I might take it back again, because it might be a roam Baptiste as well. It is just down to which player is playing on which hero. But then again, there is a Lyra that the side of Elite 8 has to consider, and Bright Bulwark is always a thing. And whether or not you can dive in deep and pick out one of the carries is, another subject altogether, because of how Bright Bulwark works.
I mean, if it goes in terms of engage, we've got quite a strong engage on the side of Elite 8, of course, with that afterburn on the glaive there, as well as some good CC to follow through with the Baptiste. And they really can go either way with that glaive and that Baptiste, as you say, as to which one they want to put on the roam in this current situation. So with that, I mean, I am liking the lineup from the side of Eanix, from the side of Elite 8 here. However, Eanix, if they're able to play it well and not get caught out of position in this case, because you have to be so careful, especially for Scarf, I think it's just about Lyra trying to keep him safe as well is going to help into that. Then maybe I would give it to Eanix in this situation.
And honestly, I'm quite surprised that the side of Elite 8 did not pick up the Catherine to complete their comp, only because you really need, I think, 6 reflex blocks or 5 reflex blocks to counter all of the CCs coming out from the side of Elite 8 if they do pick up the Catherine. So I'm quite surprised they didn't complete the comp with that Catherine being picked up. And I mean, Catherine does very well into a Lyra as well, especially into a Lyra, not only Lyra, but then Kestrel and even the Scarf as well. So it's a genuine surprise at the end of the day, but I'm still liking the team comp coming out from the side of Elite 8. Just that if the side of Eanix can play their team comp to the better extent, when they can just poke from afar and just slowly shred down the health of the side of Elite 8, then of course Eanix will have this. So I must agree with you. I will go for Eanix as well for this. So it's 100% on the desk. What about the casters? What do you guys think, Asurai and Minimita? Which team do you think will win this match?
I really like the CC that is coming out from Elite 8. I think the fact they've gone Crystal, Baptiste and Bone Glaive is a really smart decision. If they'd have gone Crystal, Glaive and Bone Baptiste, I wouldn't have liked them at all. So I do like the comp from Elite 8, but what do you think, Asurai?
Well, we did see last game that a poke comp can get immediately blown up, but then we'll just have to see. Maybe I'll actually go for the composition of Elite 8. I really like the Baptiste Glaive combo. It's really one of my favorites during this day.
Yeah, we did see it in the last game, and it's so fun to play because you have two CC on official Hein, and you have one really important one on Glaive. So comboing those together, it's not that easy to do, but it's not the most difficult CC. For example, Kestrel has really hard CC to land, and it's really hard to chain CC with Kestrel because she gets the active camo stun whenever it's necessary for Kestrel to get an active camo stun. You generally don't get a stun when on call. So, for example, if Glaive afterburn, you can do it whenever you want, but Kestrel stun is more when the enemy makes it available for you. Who's going to steal the screen away? Lyra doesn't quite do that. Went to official Hein.
A little bit of show of power there for Elite 8. They were the ones who initiated Although Eanix wanted to go for the steal, they don't want to overcommit into that. So a little bit of safe plays for Eanix. Trophies can actually get caught here if there is a bit more range onto Anime Save Me. Will he go for it? He wants to! There it is. Can he get the pushback? Yes, he does. Onto the side. It's going to be the Ordained. Puts out the active camo. The damage onto Anime Save Me, but Trophies will go down. So there you have it. That's the start. That's the power of an early game glaive.
Good afterburn. He used the speed boost from the afterburn. I think Jaegers is going to fall. Actually, live picked that one up. Good rotation up from Iron Green Die to get the Spitfire, get the Goop combo to make sure that even though Kestrel died, Jaegers did also die. And so the wave won't be pushed in and Kestrel won't lose that much.
Did he get
Good steal?
Yeah, he did.
Anime Save Me took that treant away.
Disgusting.
He kind of needed it. He's going to get this mid treant now to get energy back. But it was Glaive, good afterburn. He used the speed boost because after you use your afterburn, you do get a speed boost, a movement speed. And so Glaive used that to get just barely behind.
The Ordained connecting onto Rubber Monkey. He's blowing up right now, but yeah, that axe, or they call it an axe? Yeah, that axe is just wrecking people.
Certainly, I was just camping in lane, watching the latest CS as I do far too often. It's just nice to see how they do. And Chuffy's going to try and steal some backs, but won't quite get it. Just going to make sure that Anime Save Me and Official Hound don't take too much chunk away.
Can I ask? Anime Save Me had no vision on that Trent, right? So it was just pure instinct on how he got the last steal.
On the afterburn. Did he afterburn over the wall to get it? Is that what?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But I think he didn't have any vision.
No, he just went, I reckon now's a good time, and then stole it to the afterburn.
Yeah, so it was blind. That was awesome.
Yes. Often when you're over the wall trying to steal a treant, you can see the root animation, so you know when they've started attacking the tree. And then you've got to think how much damage do they do, and what time should I try and steal it. So it was almost entirely luck, but there's a little bit of skill to it. You'll see that some players still steal a lot more than others.
Here we go. It's going to be a little bit of aggression onto Rubber Monkey and a bit of damage, but he'll be good for a little bit. Here comes I Angry You Die, pushing in, puts down the goop, but it will not connect onto anyone for the meantime. So E8 just trying to wait for their camps, and yeah, Official Hind's going to go back, maybe buy an item first. What's he going to buy? I did not see actually. Oh yeah. So there you go.
Nothing really important. Yeah, Anime Save Me is going to pick up that fountain. Rub Monkey's still actually really low on gold. It's about, I think, 500 more before Rub Monkey can actually pick up that fountain, whereas Anime Save Me has already picked it up. So this is a good time for Leo to fight. Can't quite stop the port home. Trophies is able to get towards Sorbet, and also he's got a reflex block because that's so important against the Glaive and the Batiste. Batiste forces you to build a reflex block really early on. If you get Ordained or if you get Afterburned, it's so important that you can block the stun. And so Trophies was able to port home and get that. I don't think Elite 8 are going to fight when they have Fountain and Rubber Monkey doesn't. I think it's likely it's going to back off. But there was minion candy from Glaive, so it's very likely they're going to push this wave in. Shohine is level 6, Iron Gudai isn't. So this is definitely a good time for Elite 8 to fight with their 1k gold lead, really transferring into items really well at this point.
They're pushing it. They want to make an uncomfortable situation here for Eanix, but they have no more waves to work with. Although Anime Save Me gonna go against his own, I would say, correct decisioning and bait out a fight. Although Official Hind backs off that Dragon's Breath with his own ultimate, using that nicely timed Pierce of Shade. Anime Saves Me though. The front man for Elite 8 wants to go back in, pushes back Rubber Monkey. That's not what he wanted to do, but still, the damage is on Hun. Jaegers goes in left, goes in right. Sting, or fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And no kills just yet. Just a little bit of show of power from both of these teams.
Not yet. Glaive, with the first afterburn he did under turret, did punt a minion back as opposed to a hero, so that was not quite what he wanted. And the second afterburn getting Rubber Monkey, even though it was obviously not what Glaive intended, and even though Elite 8 didn't get a single good afterburn in that team fight, none of them died. So they didn't get outpoked by the Kestrel and the Scarf. They managed to survive for long enough so that they just waited for the afterburn. And when the afterburn didn't come properly. They just went, okay, we'll just back off and not die. So it's really important that Elite 8 are able to back off from an unfavourable engage. They don't have to go in and go all in, as some teams with Glaive often do. They wait on their first afterburn, and as soon as they go for it, they're just like, right team, let's just go. Let's just dive in and kill them. But Elite 8 are much more calm, much more collected. So if the afterburn's good, then they'll use the Ordained and go in. If not, they could just fear some shade to make Eanix back off, and they can disengage really well.
Now Anime saved me. He wants to go aggressive. Rubber Monkey is right there. Stun, and he will immediately get punished. Ooh, the saving grace from that Fountain of Renewal, keeping him on the from the brink of destruction. Official Hein trying to throw out some defensive bad mojos here, but they gotta be very careful because right now Rubber Monkey is putting out a lot of Imperial Sigils here just for the heals. Hun Jaegers onto the sideline with that Vox, but I don't know if he has enough damage yet though. He only has the Poison Shivd and Light Armor. Aside from that, no real completed items just yet. Hun Jaegers.
Looks like he wants to go in.
Ooh, there's the Ordained. Nice two-man bad mojo. The timing, that was glorious, but the Fearsome Shade. If only he had damage, that would have been better. But now, Hun Jaegers was actually a little bit caught out. He's going to be backing away with the Sonic Zoom. Official Hein almost eating a Glimmer Shot. There's going to be the one-shot, one-kill. And Glimmer, and rather, Anime Save Me will be saving, providing some blockage here for Official Hein, as it looks like Hun Jaegers will be backing off to the base, buying another item that's going to be, him just going to rotate for his comrades. And Official Hein, even though he's low on HP, he is not low on the damage. And that, I think, will end the fight. But wait! Enemy Save Me. Alright, never mind. He's just going to look
just
for
gonna
a
back
little...
off.
Yeah, it's just going to back
Don't
off.
think anyone's, no one's going to go in now. They could try and take a dog fight, but everyone is up on the side of Eanix, so I doubt Elite 8 are going to risk it. That was another good fight for Elite 8. They didn't lose too much. They were all quite low, but as you said, there were some lovely bad mojos from Official Hein, and there was also a fantastic bright bulwark from Rubber Monkey. He managed to cancel the Glaive afterburn, so that Glaive got stuck on the edge of the bright bulwark and couldn't complete that movement, which was really well played. And so Elite 8 going to try and push this turret, but there's nothing you can do against a Scarf and a Kestrel. That's a really strong turret siege comp, and Kestrel could be caught out
Hun
here.
Jaegers. Ooh, Kestrel was caught out indeed. Hun Jaegers though, the goop has to back off. There's gonna be the one-shot, one-kill, but that was a little bit up to the lower side. If it was up above, would have killed Hun Jaegers. E8 survived with their lives, but Eanix gonna say no. For the meantime, there's gonna be the defensive bulwark official. Oh, but he was not blown up. They got actually Angry died, and Elite 8 capitalizing, converging, and now they're gonna be pushing into the turret. They're looking for more. Does Anime Save Me have enough energy for another afterburner pick off here? I don't think he has, but at least they got the turret, they got the kill, and Elite 8 are scraping the bottom of the barrel, but they're getting some goodies with those pushes.
Yeah, to get the turret, and it was a good Ordained from Batista on Scarf, and immediately Fearsome Shade to push Scarf. And even though Scarf wanted to stay exactly where she was, Fearsome Shade pushing her into the Ordained wall, landing the stun, and then Anime Save Me could just come through the afterburn to make sure Scarf wasn't going anywhere. A good kill, and again, they only got one kill, but they pushed it into a turret. Kestrel couldn't defend, and now Elite 8 going to back off. So really good pressure from Elite 8. They know when they get a kill, they know they just don't just stop there. They try and get something from it. They either get some farm, get a turret, or get a gold mine, but they get something, and they could. Again, everyone's ported home apart from Lyra from Eanix, so Elite 8 not going to look for the gold mine. They don't actually know where anyone is. They're just going to push the wave and wait for another good fight. Batista's got his Shatterglass and Clockwork now, so that's a good power spike for him. Same with Hun Jaegers having 2 items, and there's a minion candy and a bulwark. Looks like Elite 8 could fight now. Bulwark's down. The minions are empowered.
Official Hein looking for that Ordained. He wants it. There it is. Connects onto the Kestrel. Can they find her through the active camo? I think the answer is a strong yes. And Lyra backing off. He's trying to run away. Official Hein into the side. Oh, there's going to be a connection with the bad mojo Ordained. It's going to be an ace here for Elite 8. Good start into our first game. 1-6. And Eanix. Oh my goodness. Did they get caught out?
They're in a little bit of trouble. Elite 8 just said turret. What turret? I don't see a turret. I see kills. I see heroes. And Lyra actually with a scout trap managed to kill Batiste while he was trying to take the tree. And official Hein. I think all of us would have tried to take that tree to survive, but he should have just ported home. So that is some shutdown for Lyra. I'm sure that's not who Eanix wanted to get the kill. Well, I guess well played from Lyra. 50 gold on the scout trap was more than worth it in that occasion. And Eanix, they got a kill, so they're now just going to go straight for the gold mine. Look at that damage from the Kestrel and the Scarf. But Elite 8 are there. They're going to get
the fearless anime saved me. Omano, E-Mono, and 2v3, and they got the gold miner. Wow.
They did. Fox stole it away. Anime saved me going in for the kills on the enemy. That just left Jaegers free to steal the gold mine away. There was nothing Kestrel or Scarf can do to take a gold mine as long as Glaive is in the way. Obviously, Kestrel can basic attack past Glaive, but Glimmer shots and Spitfires won't go through Glaive to hit the gold mine. So, well played from Anime Save Me to make sure Jaegers could secure the gold mine. And that was a good, almost a good turnaround from Eanix. They got one kill and went, yeah, we can get the gold mine, we can do it. But they didn't get vision on any members of Elite 8. And there's another minion candy on those lane minions. So Elite 8 look like they want to fight.
They want to fight indeed. Look at how fearless Anime Saved Me is. The fearsome shade actually to push back Iron Redye to safety, but the pressure is on. Here it is, the last outer turret for Eanix, the choke turret, and now Eanix are playing onto the nice edge. Oh, rubber bunky, not enough, my friend. Jaegers hones you down with that one finalizing shot, and he goes down, even uses an ultimate to boot, and E8 will go for a Crystal Sentry.
Well, they got that choke point tier 3 turret, such an important turret for them to get, and then they get go one shot onto the Jaegers. Doesn't do much when you're weapon power, does much more when you're Crystal Power Kestrel. And this is Jaegers with that tier 1 defense was clearly enough to make it so that Kestrel really isn't that much of a problem. He's actually gone for a Solar Blade, Poison Shiv, Tyrant's Monocle, which we saw Breaking Point double Tyrants on Vox, on the old Vox. Now Poison Shiv has come through. We don't tend to see that many Tyrant's Monocles, but it does work well when you're ahead to get a critical hit chance. When you're ahead, it just does so much, and there's the Water Reds in.
And speaking of ahead, look at how E8 just going aggressive onto Eanix. Anime Save Me takes quite a bit of damage, but that's providing a little bit of opening here for the Vox to go aggressive. Official Hein has spot I Angry You Die. Oh, he still survives. Do they have the Lyra ultimate? It's still on cooldown, and that gave an opening here for E8 to not get punished, go for the 1-for-1 trades, and can they escape? Yes, they will. Oh man, if that passage was open, maybe it would have gone differently. Yeah.
Could have been a return ace for Eanix. It was a all-right engage from Elite 8. They could have, I'm sure they would have felt like they could have done a lot better. It was a good ball from Lyra to make sure Glaive couldn't afterburn at the exact point he wanted to. But even then, they could have all stuck together on Scarf, whereas Batiste tried to 1v1 Scarf. Truffy's almost out of position, but he'll be fine. And yes, Batiste, he did well, almost managed to 1v1 Scarf, but he had no bad mojos left. He'd lost his empowerment, and then was standing on top of a goop trying to cast a bad mojo, and Scarf was easily going to win that fight and could just back off the Sentry. That Sentry wasn't up at that point, but Scarf now could back up the Sentry. So I think Elite 8 aren't going to be too disappointed. They're still 8k gold ahead because they only traded over one kill. Really, that's all they lost. With Fox picked up the kill, he didn't die himself, and so Elite 8 are going to look for another fight and then just push for the win, or maybe get a kill or two and get the Kraken.
Maybe try to shift the lane equilibrium here. Push, and then Eanix would have to answer. Eanix will go for the respawn. Oh, can they get a catch? This is gonna be huge. Yes, they do. The recall was actually canceled here by Elite 8. They punish and they capitalize. What a smart move coming in from Elite 8.
Yeah, fantastic flare, and I guess he's going to try 1v1 Jaegers. I don't think Jaegers will be able to do it, and Lyra, you're not going to survive that. Any chance? No, again, use the passageway as soon as she dies. That's not available for another minute.
Oh, that's so bad.
Obviously, I don't think it was the wrong decision for Scarf to port in that bush. You generally think that's an alright bush to try and port home in. And Kestrel,
yeah, for sure.
Actually, Kestrel ported home just barely before Scarf. And obviously there was vision. Elite 8 knew that because they saw Scarf and they saw Scarf alone. so they could just dive in, get the kill, and it wasn't that poor from Eanix, but you should all try and port home at the same time. So if one port gets cancelled, they all get cancelled, and you can team fight. Because if Glaive had tried to stop both of them porting, they could have gone, okay, we'll just team fight you now. We've got a sentry with 3v3. We can try and win this. Whereas they got Kestrel ported home first, then it was Scarf. And so Scarf could get stopped, but Kestrel was already at home. So you're in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, I think it was still a 50-50 chance. Like E8, just use a flare, hoping that there was someone in that rush, and then there was. So we capitalized really hard against Eanix there.
And they're going to try and push this turret. I think Scarf has fantastic crack and damage, as does Trophy. So they're going to go for the fight.
And the fight has gone out indeed. Look at how low Scarf is. He has to back off as the Lyra tries to heal himself away. Anime Save Me canceling the ultimate of I Angry You Die, and this Vayne once again will be popped. That's going to be game 1 for Elite 8. Great game for both of these teams.
Yeah, extremely well played by Elite 8. They knew that if they just let the Kraken push by himself, they wouldn't do enough. So they had to go for the team fight. Glaive with an afterburn. Batista the Ordained forced the block from I Angry You Die. Once the block was down, he thought I Angry You Die might channel the ultimate, so he threw the Fearsome Shade. I Angry You Die waited for the Fearsome Shade to be down, then channeled Dragon's Breath, and Anime Sabi just came in. Afterburn, go back into your base. We're just going to stop you from ulting, and there was nothing that Trophies could do at that point. Only one kill actually on any of the carries of Eanix. Rob Monkey picked up 2, and Elite 8 showing a fantastic game. They really dominated pretty much from the start. They managed to get 10 kills. Anime Save Me actually got an echo on this Glaive just to make sure that when the afterburn was needed, it was available. But to talk more about that game, we've got our fantastic analysts of Lux and I Request a Duel.
Well, I guess that name will kind of be... but anyways, that game, Eanix and Eanix, because they just seem like they've got such a good comp with the amount of poke and of course the capability to siege towers. But Elite 8, like the casters have said, they have just got so much more CC going into the game. And there is no response whatsoever coming out from the side of Eanix. I mean, Fearsome Shade, we saw a lot of times when Fearsome Shade was used to just cancel out Dragon's Breath coming out from Scarf as well.
And I think there really isn't too much to talk about there in terms of Elite 8. And you said before, it's about which teams are more balanced in their team comp and in their draft. And I think with the side of Elite 8 also having a great engage comp on their side, they were really able to shut down targets with their CC. And they've got the Glaive for frontline, as well as Baptiste, because he's able to heal through a lot of it. But Baptiste also provides a lot of poke in that sense with being CP instead of going for that roam Baptiste. So I think it was a good choice in how they decided to go for builds they did on the heroes they picked on the side of Elite 8. And I did say it would be, and I believe Ashurai said the same thing at the start when he was a bit worried about the poke comp, whether it'd work out or not. And in this case, we did see that it wasn't able to work out, and the engage proved stronger. And a lot of the time, you kind of have to match engage comps with engage comps of your own, and that is the way to really prove which team is going to be stronger there. But with that, the draft for the next match is ready, so without further ado, we won't keep you waiting any longer. Let's go into the draft.
Right, so we are into draft right now, and I do agree 100% with what you just said. You have to match an engage comp with another engage comp. If not, then you must poke them down before they can come on top of you. So the side of Elite 8 will be on the blue side right now, and of course on the side of the red would be Team Eanix. I was thinking, because whether or not Eanix should ban out that Baptiste, they are going to go for that Lyra, thinking it is a bigger threat as compared to that of Baptiste, although they were the one that went with that Lyra, and Grace will be picked up at this point in time for the side of Elite 8. I personally think that Baptiste was a bigger problem than in the previous game because of the amount of CCs they can put out. And I mean, I'm not disregarding the efficacy that Glaive brought to a lot of team fights. Problem is that a lot of team fights, when Anime says we go in for the afterburn, what happens then is he punts enemies, I don't know, probably 7 out of 10 times for every afterburn it does, he punts enemies away from his team. So I don't know. I don't think Glaive was a big problem there. I personally think that Batiste was the bigger problem. So I'm quite surprised that the side of Eanix did not ban out the Batiste, but then decided to go for that Lyra and Glaive ban.
Oh, yeah, I think by shutting down the Lyra and the Glaive because they're more versatile. Obviously, Lyra being a great support and then Glaive being this flex pick that they're able to pick up. I don't blame them for going for that rather than the Batiste personally. And going back to my previous comment on engage comps going up against engage comps, there's also just the other way is to have a reactionary team with Love CC to be able to shut down anyone who comes into your team and lock them there and turn it around that way. So if I was to say anything for Eanix going into this one, if they aren't going for the engage, but it looks like they will so far because of that Lance pickup, then just a good amount of CC is still going to help them out.
Yep.
Oh, and there is a good amount of CC as they pick up the Catherine as well. So they're going to be putting this Lance more than likely in the jungle as a weapon power.
So that is a lot of CCs. I think for the entirety of the game, both of these heroes kind of covers all the CCs that's available. Is it all the CCs? Oh, besides Fair, but then they've got the Root, they've got the Silence, they've got the Stun. So at this point in time, the side of Eanix looks
great.
Oh, right, and knock up on Grace as well. So they do not have the knock up, but at this point in time, the side of Eanix seems and Snare as well. So okay, so pardon me, but they've got majority of the hard CCs of Vainglory and stuff as well. Okay, let me start. But anyways, we do see in response to that CC heavy team comp coming up from the side of Eanix, Elite 8 will respond with a hero that has got a silence in his kit as well, and that will be that of Vox. And of course, to wrap up the side of Elite 8's team comp, we will see Ataka as well. Honestly, for Ataka going up against a Lance, I'm okay, chat, I'm done. And
well, they might not have quite over CC on this side of, I believe it's Eanix now on the red side. So, however, they do have a lot more compared to the last game. They're going to pick up that Scarf again, but this time they do have that CC to complement it, and it is a bit more of a front line. You have this aggressive Aroma being Catherine, and then as well as having the Lance there. I think it's more so they're going to try lock down targets for I Angry You Die on that Scarf to just really be able to land the Spitfires on and hopefully the Goops and then be able to really confirm some kills. However, if we look to the side of Elite 8, they were able to pick up that Grace and they have the Taka as well. That's going to be a good engage there on that side, but obviously not quite as strong on the CC when they only have that Grace as their main initiator.
Yep, they do have the Benediction, the slow on Benediction, but there is one thing definitely and for sure, it's that they would have the better early game overall, especially with the Taka going up against the Sky, but going up against, not the Sky, sorry, against that Lance. But problem is that I'm still kind of iffy with the Taka pickup going against a Lance. I mean, granted, you can dodge out all the CCs coming out from the side of Team Eanix, but at the end of the day, would you be able to take down such a tanky comp? They are just basically sandwiching that of Scarf, allowing Scarf and basically locking heroes down on the side of Elite 8 so that Scarf can just output as much damage as possible in the shortest amount of time with their Spitfire and Goop combination. So if that's the case, then the side of Elite or the side of Eanix would not have a ton of damage, if I'll be honest. So looking at the draft itself, I request a duo. What do you think? Who do you think will come out on top? I mean, we saw how Elite 8 play. They played with a very heavy CC comp in the previous game. And in this game, they do not have it.
I agree with a lot of what you say there, and how that if Eanix aren't able to peel for that scarf, they lose a lot of their firepower and might just have to back down from a lot of fights in those situations. And depending on how tanky this Lance is going to want to build, could also heavily change that. So I would have to say that Elite 8 have the upper hand there. However, overall, I have a bit of confidence in the side of Eanix, and I think they'll be able to pull it off, or at least I'm hoping so.
Well, definitely. I do have the confidence as well. We are jumping right into the fold at this point in time, so let's throw it over to our amazing casters, Asarai and Mini. Take it away.
Thank you for that intro, and your guys are amazing yourself. All right, so we're now looking into the possible last game in this best of 3 series between Elite 8 and Eanix. So they were talking about how, you know, Elite 8 a while ago had so much crowd control, but now it's practically non-existent. So what do you think about that one, Minimiter?
I think the comp from Eanix, it can work. Weapon Lance and a support Catherine, it can work quite well, but it's going to be really hard for them to pull off, because obviously you're going double roam with a scarf. We saw that earlier today with a Grace Adagio scarf to try and keep that scarf alive, but that was obviously a jungle scarf. This is a lane scarf, which we haven't seen much of at all. So Crystal Power laners have really fallen out of the meta quite hard, and I think it's good. I think I prefer Elite 8's comp, even though they haven't got that much CC. Taka and Fox really work well, and they can either not fight or they can engage, but that's going to be dead Fox. There's nothing he can do about that. If you're Fox and you're farming up your jungle, your lane, anywhere near the starch bush of Eanix, you're going to get ganked so quickly. And even if you're not anywhere near, you can get gooped by Scarf, get slowed, and then they can land a stun that impale and you're going to die.
Yeah, just a lot of nice combinations there for pick off here for Eanix. But tell me about like how you think about this Taka pick for E8. Like, how does this, like, in your opinion, mesh well with their composition going up against Eanix's?
I think the Taka works well against the Scarf, but he's quite good against Catherine because he can generally use his chitin to dodge stuns and silences that Catherine has. But you can't dodge everything. You can't dodge the stun and the root and the Githian wall and the goop. So he has to choose what's the most important for that particular team fight. So I think it's gonna be all on Anime Save Me to crucible the Catherine silence so that Taka is free to do what he wants. Because if that silence does land from Catherine, Taka won't be able to go invisible, won't be able to dodge or do really any damage, and then he's going to get killed by the weapon lance. Because if you get impaled by that lance, it's going to do so much, and it's unlikely Official Hand's going to build an Atlas, because there's no point atlasing anything. Your lance is pretty much there for impales and one basic attack, then back away, and obviously for CC. And Taka is there to dive on Scarf, so the Atlas is just pointless. So he's not going to have any weapon power defense unless he decides that Metal Jacket is necessary. So that's really going to be the win condition of Elite 8. It's just let Taka dive onto Scarf and Vox just be doing what he can.
Yeah, doing what the Vox does, kite all day long, side to side, Sonic zoom in like the Flash. And, well, it was a little bit of a misstep there for Hunjagers getting caught out, but it's just the start of the game. We'll have to see if Eanix can follow through, use this double CC front line of theirs. Ooh, I agree with that. No, it's the very edge of that recall animation.
About the support home. It looks like he's actually going to go for a Solar Blade Lance instead of a Tension Bow first. We've seen a lot of Tension Bow Lance just to get that on-hit burst damage. But Solar Blade does very similar. It just is constant damage as opposed to only having every 6 seconds. And then it's going to be Jaeger's in a much better position. He obviously had to use Sprint Boots, which is not what he wanted, but he didn't get stunned, he didn't get impaled, and he didn't die. Using your boots is much better than dying, as I'm sure everyone would agree. And Lance was in lane, so he would have died to the impale and the basic attacks. Now only is back in jungle. Jaeger's is being pushed quite a lot by this Scarf and this Catherine, so he's able to farm his way under tight, but that's all he can really do. He can't pressure against this Scarf, which I'm sure he'd like to do, because you don't want Scarf to be able to get towards late game. You want to pressure her early. Even though the weapon power lance will fall off really hard in the late game, once we get towards mid, he'll be a real force to be reckoned with, and Vox doesn't know Lance is there.
Ooh, the damage from that impale, but Official Hein trying to provide a little bit of support, and he survives. And you just gotta be careful because Truppies can put down a Spitfire. And if you actually saw the CS, look at how Truppies is already 35 to 22 compared to Han Jaegers.
And Jaegers has been not doing the best CS this game. I'm noticing him missing quite a few under turret, which is obviously he hadn't shot, so it's really hard for him to CS under turret. And now there's going to be attacker almost falling, kiting.
Oh, he does!
Not quite. Keeping him alive.
These positions from E8 this early on could prove a little bit fatal as we do, or rather as Eanix start to rack up the kills as well as the last hits on the minions.
It definitely is just going to farm this wave, and Vox actually going to get a bit of ambient with Taka. It was before Vox cleared that wave, Taka actually had more CS than Vox did, which really shows how much Vox is being pushed back by this Lance and Captain in lane. He's being forced to either miss farm or die, and he's chosen the miss farm option, which is all right. I think it's the better choice, because if he had died, they might have already lost the turret, and he would have lost even more CS. And Taka's going to try and catch out Truffies. He'll be okay, be able to back off. There was a scout trap in that bush, so Visual Hide needs to be careful. Scarf with their full tier 3 item. Vox can pick up a poison ship when he does shot, which will really help him farm when he gets a little bit more damage, because the main problem why he couldn't CS under turret was if he did one basic attack on a minion after it got hit by the turret, it wouldn't kill it, and Jaegers forcing in a very greedy position. He was not caught out, and he's going to try and push this wave, but I doubt they'll be able to get much turret damage off it.
Well, as long as E8 are there for the response, they should be able to protect this one, but Han Jaegers is trying to defend the turret. Taka is still a little bit of ways off, actually is in the jungle, so he won't provide any support for his teammate. That turret is so ripe for the taking here, and Eanix, you can see they really want to, but Iangriadai decides otherwise. He's gonna get his camps. Yeah.
He's going to get his Soul Blade now, which is such a big power spike for Eanix. They really want to fight. Taka's going to be exposed by the scout trap. Will he be okay?
I think he just might activate. Actually, he doesn't activate his boots. Official High Wood. The Githian wall. The Kaijin keeping him alive. And look at that. Nice back away. They thought he was going to go to enemy save me, but he just goes and loops around to the other side to dodge the damage. Wow.
He's not overextending. He's just going very, very, very low and deep with almost dying. He was extending exactly right. It was very risky. I think everyone else would have just run away and not bothered X-Rexing in onto Angry Die, but Official Hide knew what he was doing. He didn't die, but this turret does not actually fall. Scarf didn't land the goop onto the turret. It actually went onto the minions. And Anime saved me bootsing and fountaininging that may be accidental. Yeah, he's going to port home because he did fountain to keep himself nice and healthy, but now it won't be up for this next team fight.
Oh, here comes Official Hein from the sidelines. But the poke damage is just too much from Eanix. Official Hein trying to back away. There's going to be the lance. Oh, he connected that impale and it found its mark. Oh my goodness, the Githian wall, the damage, the blast tremor as well. 2 for 0 with the turret. This is not looking good at all for Elite 8.
Yeah, that was a Githian wall into a Spitfire from Eanix. Lance used the Githian wall to push Vox so that the Spitfire that Truffies spat out would connect. And then the blast tremor burst damage was just too much. So extremely well played from Eanix. They are going to have this early game, and they're already at a 4k gold lead against 17k against Elite 8's 13k. Now up to 14, so this is a really good position for them to be in. With a Scarf that will scale to late game extremely well, if you win the early game, that's a bonus, and a Weapon Lance pretty much guarantees that you are going to win the early game, because he's just got so much damage before anyone builds any armor. You can't really contest against dying if you die.
Yeah. But wait, Official Hein proves otherwise. Goes aggressive. X-Retsu's the face of Truffies. If they had a little bit more leeway there, I think it might have a nice initiation here for Elite 8, but not just yet. Eanix have such a good control into this one. There's the Blast Tremor going on off of cooldown, so we got ourselves a team fight. Fountain of Renewal and Atlas Pauldron, but by Rubber Monkey as well. So aside from that, don't know if Minimiter is still there. Oh yeah,
I'm
there
back.
he is.
I'm here.
There
As
we
you
go.
said, Official Hein was really good at when he dived into trophies. He did extremely well and basically got trophies to half health with just a X-Rexum and then a Chitem. So that was extremely good from Official Hein. But they haven't been winning these team fights, and they're doing quite well to back off and not engage when the Eanix have got the. They're winning when he's
Official Hein though is going aggressive, activates the X-Retsu, who gets the last hit. It's gonna be the Scarf. That's not good for Elite 8, but if they can get the kills, maybe, just maybe. Oh, there's the Breath of Fire, or rather the Dragon's Breath, and he won't be able to. Yeah, won't be able to escape. Hun Jaegers again, the port to awkward positions, but he'll be porting in a better one. Still though, they forced the fight and they lost it, giving even more bonuses here for Eanix.
Yeah, they tried to steal the gold mine, and by trying to steal it, they give up the turret. It does appear that Anime Save Me is disconnected, so hopefully they will fix that quite soon and be able to play. Because Elite 8, they're going in 2v3. They're not going in. Well, obviously they can't go in together because they haven't got all their players, but they should just back off. Don't look to fight unless you're in a good position to do so. Either fight under Sentry or just wait and back off until your team are fully there. So Hunyega's just going to take the farm. He could be in trouble here. He's going to get stunned, and yeah.
Oh, double stun, double poke. What can you ask more for Eanix? That was not looking good at all.
Certainly not. It looks like they may even get this turret. Nope, and Official Hein's going to try and run, and they are just going to push the turret now. That's another turret destroyed for Eanix. Official Hein doesn't know what to do. They're actually they want to port home. They've all got at least 2k gold. So Eanix do not really want to fight. They want, Lance has got himself a tension bow pretty much from nothing. And Hunyega's picked up a Slumbering Husk, and it was already been procced, so that's not great. However, they might get a kill onto Catherine here. What do you think?
They are going to be able to, I think. Oh, the Storm Guard. But not the case. They will be able to win that one, but I Angry Adai is back and legit. He is angry, goes in aggressive, misses the connection of that Impale. And here comes another X-Retsu. Official Hein is blood hungry right now. There's so much aggression here, but I mean, aggression does not mean kills, and they got, well, legit beats. Double kill for Eanix.
Yeah, that was Lance doing trophies with 3,000 gold. Just gonna pick up a full broken myth, isn't he? He's just gonna pick up everyone. Yes, he is. He's gonna get a full broken myth just because he can with 3,000 gold. So I think the fact that Iron Gudai managed to come back and he managed to come back with a tension bow recently picked up just means he could turn around the fight. Even though it looked like Taka was doing quite well, once Lance had come back, it was really no contest. There's almost a 10k gold lead for Eanix, which some people call the point of no return. It's at 9k at the moment, and with this gold mine going over, it's going to go to about 9.5, so it's going to be very close. In fact, I think Elite 8 wants to steal. Who's going to get it? It will be
They
Taka with
get it
steal.
though. Official Hein 1v1 against Trophies. They gotta back off and give some support to this Scarf. That's gonna be the case. Hunyega's backing away. Look at the damage though from this Lance. Even though he doesn't have a lot of attack speed, he got a lot of poke damage. Oh, that's gonna be close. He won't be able to connect his finalizing blow onto the Lance, and that's gonna be a 2-for-0. What is happening?
Just barely surviving. They're going to take out the Sentry. There's not much else they can take. They can't push the two base turrets because the minions are far too pushed themselves. So they're just going to take the backs away, and Iron Gudai is probably going to port home. He is quite low on health, so if he gets caught out, he could be in a little bit of trouble.
What is happening here though? I mean, E8 have been forcing so many fights back and forth. It looks like they're just trying to push their luck, push it to the limit, but that's not going to be their winning factor here. They don't have...
Elite 8 trying their best to take a good fight where they can They can dive onto someone and just burst them down. But it's so hard to do, unfortunately. It looks like, Anime Save Me isn't connected. So it's so hard to do in this situation when you are 2v3, because you just have to do what they're doing now and just back off and hope. They're going to go in and try and fight.
This might be the final fight for E8 as they race in their ranks to actually provide any frontline support. And Crystal Sentry is out, but it's he's not going to deal enough damage or, prove to be a defense monster here for E8. Finally, Enemy Safety is back, but I think it's just a bit too late for E8.
It may be too late, but Anime Safety is back, so he's got 3k gold. He's able to pick up at least one item. Probably,
they're trying to go in. Is this it? The Hail Mary pass for Kaiten was used, Xretsu was used, Official Hind backing up. Oh, the damage! And here it is, Truffy's full-blown out Dragon's Breath. He gets it. Only Hun Jaegers to survive, but does he have enough AoE damage? He gets plowed around like a toy. And there you have it. Eanix will be pushing this into a game 3.
Well, triple kill for Iron Gudai at the end there. Anime Safety did return just in time to watch the veined crystal shatter. And so we will be going into a game. They will be playing a game 3. That was as you said, it got to the 10k gold lead, which is at the point where if you are going to turn the fight around, you need someone like a Baron or someone like that who will scale extremely well into late game. Whereas what they had a Vox, which does scale quite well, but they're up against a Scarf. And Scarf is one of the best late game heroes in the game, so you're not really going to turn it around when you're 10k gold behind, because Scarf is going to fall off. Scarf just isn't going to fall off. She's going to keep ramping up, keep getting more damage, and then more absolute destruction. And Iron Gudai with that Sword Blade Tension Bow, probably building into another Sword Blade just because that's the build Lancers like to go, really didn't fall off because there was no weapon power defense built, so his damage stayed consistent. And it was well played from Eanix. But to talk more about that game, we have got our analysts of Lux and our Requested Jewel.
Hello, and that game. I believe connectivity issues. It's a thing in Southeast Asia, and we can't quite help it at the end of the day. So it's quite unfortunate for the side of Elite 8, but had Anime Save Me maybe come back a little earlier, they could have gotten the game. But there is really nothing much to talk about. And I do agree with you, Mini. Had Elite 8 picked out another hero, right? So just predicting Anime Save Me just lagging out and then disconnecting, they probably would have gotten that 2v3. But at the end of the day, it is just quite difficult. What do you think, I request to do? Do you think that a set of Elite 8 2v3 would stand a chance? Okay, so I'm probably alone again. So here we go. Honestly, I hope the players have sorted out their connectivity issue, and I'm sure draft is ready. So without further ado, let's go into the draft. Right, coming into this game 3, I really hope the side of or the side of Elite 8 do fix the connectivity issue. And, hopefully at the end of the day, they can fight it out in as even as possible. The proper 3v3. We did see in the previous match, though, we do see, Elite 8 prioritizing on, that Lara being banned out. Elite 8 prioritizing on that Baron, on that Castrol as well. So, what do you guys think? Or rather, who am I? What do you think, Mini? What do you think they would ban out for the side of Elite 8? Okay, so they are going for that Baron ban again. It's so weird because I'm asking questions and no one is quite responding to me. Anyways, the side of Eanix. The side of Eanix will be going for that Lance. And Lance is a very good flex pick, as we saw. We thought it will be a Roma Captain Lance, but at the end of the day, it was a weapon Lance. And I must say, although there was a DC coming out from the side of Elite 8, I agree with Dyer on that Lance did play out. And in response to that, of course, Elite 8 will pick up that Catherine and, of course, banning out that Sky.
Yeah, I think it's likely that the Sky was banned just to make sure that it's not picked against Catherine, because they obviously don't want to pick it because they are Team Beast. They could pick Sky up themselves if they wanted to, but clearly they don't want to pick it. Maybe they want to pick Idris, would be a very likely pick if it's not banned. And it's odd to see that Lance has been picked up because you don't generally see Lance and Catherine as the meta heroes, but we obviously saw in the last game Lance do a load of work, so they just wanted to pick it up. And yeah, it makes sense that the Catherine was to make sure that they don't get Lance Catherine again. And Vox ban, I didn't expect to see Batiste. As I said, I expected to see Idris picked up, but they clearly want to play that Crystal Batiste. It did do an awful lot of work earlier today. And so would you expect to see maybe a Kestrel or an Idris picked up now?
I personally would prefer to see a Castro because the side of Eanix are just so comfortable with that of Castro. Although in the first game they didn't play quite well, but the Castro comp is a comp that they've run very, very often, and I'm sure the side of Eanix will be very comfortable with it. But with that Idris being opened up, I'm not surprised though if they do just settle for the Idris, just to remove Idris from the equation for the side of Elite 8. I mean, Idris at this point in time is a very strong weapon carry. They are going to go for that Scarf for the side of Eanix, just depriving the side of Elite 8 for that Scarf because... Yeah.
Eanix going for a very similar comp, but no, they're not going to go for a weapon lance in the jungle. They're going to go for a pool in the jungle. Sky obviously banned away. Sky is seen as the main counter to Crawl, so that can't be picked. Obviously, Petal is another great counter, but Scarf will rip through Petal's minions like no one's business. And obviously, they've already picked their Batiste, so unless you want to push that Batiste into lane, you're going to put Batiste against a Crawl, which is really good. Melee heroes are fantastic at playing against the Batiste because he can't run away. That's the one thing Batiste just cannot do. He has to damage you from afar, but he can't get away if you're on top of him. And we've seen the first Gwen for a long time. I think that's a good counter to Crawl, because obviously you have the stun if Crawl tries to engage. You have your skedaddle to run away from either from Hell's Heart if it stuns you, which is stunned for 2.2 seconds, or up to 3.3 seconds if it's stunned at a boomerang range. And also you can obviously skedaddle out of the Crawl's slow. So I do like the Gwen pick. It's going to be hard for Elite 8 to pull that off because they obviously, Gwen is not the most meta carry at the moment.
Definitely. I mean, Gwen is very strong in the early game with that poke, but in the later game, like, she falls out so badly in the late game itself. She just doesn't do as much damage as compared to the other weapon carries. Anyways, just a quick update for all of you guys and all the viewers out there. iLock will be replacing Anime Save Me to play for the side of Elite 8. Anyways, just looking at the draft alone, we see a couple of CCs coming out from the side of Eanix as well. We do have from Hell's Heart, like you said, we have the slow from Goop, and of course a Root from Impale, and of course the Githan Wall for that stun as well. And if they can kind of chain the CCs well, then they definitely would have the upper hand over the side of, say, Elite 8. Although Elite 8 has got the Batiste and Catherine, a very strong combination at this point in time.
Yeah, I think the Batiste, Catherine, Gwen obviously is a triple stun comp. You can get 3 stuns in a row, but that's not ever going to happen really unless you make sure that Batiste's Ordained is the first stun, then you can get the Catherine and Gwen one after the other. And obviously there is a double stun for Eanix with Crawl and Lance, but I think it's going to be all about what Crawl can do if Crawl can get on top of Gwen or Batiste. Because if Crawl can get on top of either of them, then he'll be absolutely fine at deleting them. And Crawl hasn't seen a lot of play. Crawl actually was played in the third match between Infamous and Brenchong that was played off stream. Yeah. Crawl did win that game. So Crawl 100% win rate today. It's interesting to see if in this third game he wins again. I have seen a little bit of Crawl in ranked matches, and he's extremely good. I've seen a lot more Crystal Power Crawl where you go Tension Bow, Aftershock, and go Crystal Power, but obviously Weapon Power does very similar. He'll do an awful lot of on-hit damage with basic attack. So I think Cruel has a really good chance of winning this.
Definitely. I mean, we've seen a lot of Cruels recently after Cruel was thrown out in the NA VG8. And honestly, Cruel is so versatile coming to this game. But then we have to consider the fact that Cruel can be shut down with Merciless Pursuit. And of course, Ordain as well, just to not allow Cruel to get anywhere close to your carries. So that is one thing that we must consider as well. I mean, Batiste on the side of Elite 8, and we've seen Official Hein on this Batiste. And Official Hein plays very good Batiste, like we did see in the first game, when he uses Fearsome Shade to shut down so many countless ultimates coming up from the side of Eanix as well. So coming into this game, of course, granted the side of Eanix, they've got a more balanced team comp. They've got that Cruel that can be, a distraction, can just be in front line, soak up as much damage. And on top of that, we do have a Lance as well to provide all the CCs. And of course, they can have that. And of course, we have that Scarf just poking from the back with the Spitfires as well. But then on the side of Elite 8, they really just want to go in for that engage. They have got that Catherine with that Merciless Pursuit. And of course, Ordain and Bad Mojo. And if the situation seems strong, seems bad for the side of Elite 8, Fearsome Shade is always available. And of course, Skedaddle, like you said, is always available. So I'm kind of 50-50 on both of these teams as well. It is just down to how they are going to play and how well they are going to execute the team comp. Overall, I think Eanix's team comp is a much easier to execute team comp.
Yeah, I do think that but it's going to be interesting to see how well Batiste can use that fear, because that's pretty much going to be what decides who wins the team fights. Obviously, said it's all about Cruel getting on top of Gwen, but if Batiste manages to fear Cruel away, then that will be good, but it will still be quite hard for Gwen to do her damage, because Gwen needs to be at reasonably close range to get basic attacks off. Gwen doesn't have a really very long range. So it's more that Batiste is going to have to fear Cruel towards a wall, or make it so that Gwen can kind of chase Cruel while he's being forced away from her. And so I think it's going to be mostly on Batiste, but obviously there's going to be a lot of pressure for Gwen to skedaddle at the right time. It obviously doesn't block the damage, but it does block the CC. So it may be useful. Obviously, a weapon power Cruel doesn't do a lot of damage on his ultimate, so it might make a lot of sense for Gwen to skedaddle the Cruel stun, maybe even face tank it so that it doesn't hit anyone else, and then you immediately skedaddle. So you block the stun, and that's a 3-second stun if Cruel does it at boomerang range, and that's so much CC that's just been taken out by your V ability, which will be up again in about 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So it does make sense to pick Gwen against this Cruel, and it's going to be tougher for Elite 8 to pull it off, because they really need to spend all their CC to stop Cruel, and while they're doing that, there's a Scarf on the back line. But then again, they still can do it, so I do prefer the draft from Eanix personally.
Yep, so same here. So we are on the same page. Just preferring the draft coming up from the side of Eanix. And I guess they've got, just very good CCs overall. They've got a root for that Scarf as well. And like you said, the side of Elite 8, they have to just block out and work around those CCs as much as they can. And it's really just down to iLuck on this Catherine, whether or not she can crucible out the more important ones, like say a Lance's root. And then of course the carries can just burn their own reflex blocks for like Cruel's from Hell's Heart, or even the goop from Scarf. Anyways, we are jumping into the foes at this point in time. So talking about these games, of course, we have Asurai and Minimiter. Take it away.
Thanks for that one, Minimiter. Luxuria. I'm not gonna call you Lux, I'm gonna call you Luxuria, yeah. And Minimiter will be the one who's gonna be co-casting with me for this final game here, guys, with our best Eanix versus Elite 8. Let's do this. For me, I would have to probably go for Elite 8's side, just because I have a lot of faith in the Batiste of Official Hein. But if you look on Eanix on that second game, they were phenomenal with this double in-your-face dive/stun type of composition that really works out well for them.
Yeah, they were happy with how the Scarf and Lance worked in the last game. Obviously, the Catherine was immediately picked up to just make sure they couldn't do the same comp twice in a row because of how comfortable they were on it. But they went through a very similar comp. They went for Cruel instead of Catherine. And I'm pretty sure they'll be happy with how the draft went because they like their Scarf. Weapon played extremely well on Lance. This time it will be a support Lance instead of a weapon power Lance. He has booked a weapon blade, but that's probably just for a bit of early game pressure. And Truffy's could be in trouble. That Rubber Monkey's in more trouble.
So here it is, a taste of your own medicine. Rubber Monkey bursted down as that lands. First blood will be netted by Elite 8 here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is probably the first time that I'll be seeing Gwen for our split 2. Not really a popular pick in the Sia region.
Yeah, it's definitely the first time we've seen Gwen for quite a while because she was really strong for she got a slightly decreased weapon power ratio because what everyone used to play was just a tension bow on Gwen, and you'd have your tension bow proc at the same time as your boomstick heroic perk, which happens every few seconds. And so that's such a big on-hit damage that there's pretty much nothing that you can do to defend against it except to get quite a lot of health. Because obviously tension bow will pierce through armor you've got, and so you have to build health to try and even though the burst is still around 400 in the early game, you need to make sure that's not too much of your health. And we are going to see tension bow Gwen 2 minutes 30. That's a really early tension bow, really good CS from Gwen to make sure she can get that tension bow really early on. And so Scarf is really going to have to be careful of not getting in range of Gwen when that tension bow is up. And Triumph will go over.
Oh, this is a 2v3 though. Did they get the steal? I actually didn't see. Official Heinz gonna be caught out. That's gonna be a 1 kill. Elite 8 though, they have Hun Jaegers. Wow, tension bow. You said it. The damage is just surreal. But here comes I Angry Die. Trophies as well. He will be activating that trap, but it won't really get much. It's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade. So there you have it. Tension bow.
Cruel took away one of the backs and is going to run away so it's the next one. Won't die, but Gwen is going to rotate down. Will this be a dead I Angry You Die?
Dead I Angry You Die?
Oh,
Good timing. Even Rubber Monkey with the impale, but that might have been an imp fail as he might go down here against Ilock. Nope, Trophies will be giving a little bit of support for him. So both members here of Eanix will survive.
Yeah, I Angry You Die will survive just barely. He actually, I thought he used his boots, but he just stayed in the bush to get his rogue perk. And the Elite 8 couldn't secure the tree before it despawns 4 minutes in, so Official High won't be too happy about that. And it was a good fight from Eanix. Obviously, they were all 3, whereas Elite 8 were just as 2. So they got the kill on Batiste and then got one of the backs away. Now, Ilock could be in a bit of trouble. Ilock's going in.
Not a lot of ability here for the Scarf. Ordain just for the security of it, and they get the one. Looking for the second Rubber Monkey. He doesn't have a lot of tanking prowess for the meantime, so he's got to back away to the safety of the turret. I Angry Die boosting up. He wants a little bit of the aggression. Krull does have that Dead Man's Rush, but didn't find the target. So E8 really capitalizing on this Scarf's immobility.
Yeah, they're doing well. Ilock is coming out of the bush with that emergency suit, and Official Hide is right behind her with the Ordain. So even if Scarf does manage to run far enough away that you can't kill her, she gets stunned by the Ordain. If she doesn't run away into the Ordain wall, then Hun Jaegers will get the kill with that tension bow working towards Sora Blade. So it's a good combination from Elite 8. Rubber Monkey really has to be in lane almost constantly to make sure that he can push Catherine away before she manages to land the Merciless Pursuit. And Angry Die still level 5, trying to get his back, so he'll be level 6 momentarily. So that's a really good time for him to come up to lane, try and get a gank, because Official Hide is only level 5, and it's actually almost going to hit the level 6 as well at the same time. So no one wants to fight. They're both going to back off. Fountain on Catherine now, and a tension bow picked up by Cruel. So even though he could have fought a level 6, Cruel hadn't quite got his tension bow, so he didn't want to fight straight away.
Official Hein up in the river looking for, getting his camps for the meantime. Angry Die level 6 has the from. He can throw his blade and get a target stun locked if they can follow through. Jaeger's almost getting caught out there. Rubber Monkey didn't want to go in, I think just because he didn't know where the rest of Elite 8 are. But here it is, 3 versus 3 in the lane. I agree that he has the ultimate, it connects, but looky here, it's gonna be iLock to block with the Merciless Pursuit. 3 man Fearsome Shade coming out. iLock, oh, Jaegers as well. If they had enough range, that would have been disgusting against Eanix. But they might have a consolation prize here. That could be the turret. They're looking at Trophies, but Trophies is actually dealing quite a bit of good damage here. Storm Guard activated by iLock, but they gotta respect, they don't have any more waves to work with, so they just back off. But man, oh man, that could have been worse for Eanix.
Yeah, definitely could. They could have lost the turret, they could have lost an ace. They managed to back away pretty much unharmed, apart from the turret going quite low, and they're going to now try and push the turret by themselves to return. Visual Hyde is kind of by himself if Eanix wants to go for him, and Iangudai could try it. Not quite have enough speed boost to get there. I'm interested to see what Iangudai picks up now. If he is going to go for weapon power, or if he's going to go for that Storm Guard banner and book into a Storm Guard. It looks like he will go full weapon power, which is a much smarter move, because on-hit crawl does work well if you've got a weapon power carry, but as they've got a crystal power carry, you really want to have a lot of weapon on your jungler so that they can't just build an Aegis and be fine. They have to either build an Aegis and die to crawl, or build a metal jacket or an Atlas and die to trophies. So good decision from Crawl. Looks like he's going to go for attack speed, maybe into a poison shiv, maybe into a breaking point.
In the back line,
looking for some poke. Yeah, it doesn't look like he can get much. Poke at the choke, and Jaeger's going to rush it down. Going to get a flare and an infusion. Yeah, I was going to say, looks like he wanted to infuse. And so it could be a fight for Elite 8. Official Hyde isn't infused at the moment, but he's got one in his pocket, so Elite 8 are almost definitely going to want to fight soon.
Well, for the meantime, nothing as of the moment just yet. Misses the Impale. He's actually caught out from that one. Wow. One misposition, and he got blown up. Now that can be the transition here for Elite 8 into the turret. That's going to be a yes. They immediately back off. The Gold Miner is a pretty good other objective to go for this one, and Elite 8 get 3 pretty good objectives for the price of none. But wait, hold that thought. Iangudai is right here. Can they go for the steal? Shoots out the Spitfire, but it's a bit too slow. Not like a Glimmer Shot, not like a one-shot, one-kill. So it's going to be a, well, Elite 8 to get, again, 3-0 in terms of the objectives.
4k gold lead for Elite 8 just from that one kill. It was, as you said, one missed position from Lance, one missed Impale. You're locked in position for a bit before you can start moving, and you're just going to get bursted down. A single stun, a double stun from iLock and Jaegers, and Lance just got bursted so quickly. It was well played from Elite 8, but I think Rubber Monkey should have seen that they were infused, seen that they really wanted to fight, push a turret, get a gold mine. So those infusions were more than worth it. They got 600 gold from turrets and gold mine, but they're going to go for a fight, so hold my thought.
Go for a fight. I agree. Die into the backline. Hanye Fountain, and immediately they try to wrap around. Jaeger is looking at Trophies, but Trophies with the fadeaway Spitfire actually connecting. Now Rubber Monkey as well as Iangudai, pretty low in HP. From Hell's Heart was already used, so no throwing dagger blade ultimate to stun someone. They have to wait for maybe the Githian Wall or an Impale to start the fight off, but I think they're just gonna hold off for the meantime. But as I say that, they go aggressive onto the Lance. They're chasing him down right now. He's gonna go to at least dip back into the fight with the Impale, looking aggressive. He's backing off. iLock once more. Does he have the Merciless Pursuit? It's on cooldown, but they're just gonna back off for the meantime. So there you go.
Yeah, Korn didn't have this from Hell's Heart available, so he's just going to back off the farm. I think Eanix will be happy that they didn't lose any kills from that. They didn't really get anything positive, so they're still around 4k behind. But they don't lose another turret, they don't lose another gold mine or any kills, which is really quite important. Scarf, once he gets a late game, will be doing way more damage than the Jaegers is now on Gwen, and we see the importance of the early game from Elite 8 is that Jaeger's picked up an infusion, has now used it. Official Hein will probably buy an infusion now as well. just so that they are all completely ready to fight. Yeah, there's going to be a bit of defense and infusion for Elite 8. So Elite 8 know they need to win this around mid-game, because if they don't, Scarf will start ramping up to late game and they're going to be in a real bit of trouble.
Trying to look for an opening here. 5k gold lead for Elite 8. Well, it's still a little bit early. 4 minutes before that Kraken unleashes. There's still the second turret, so not over yet for Eanix.
No, not yet. They're just doing a poke. There's more poke from Scarf if it is landed. Visual High's doing well.
Ooh, that bad mojo. Nice connection with the Githian wall though, but Rubber Monk been a bit too overcommitting. Here comes Iangriadai with the backstab, misses from Hell's Heart. Fearsome Shade comes through. Trophies blowing hard onto Official High and has to back away. Look at the damage from that goop. 2v1. Actually, Iangriadai pushes him back. He's going a bit more aggressive here. Dead Man's Rush, Rubber Monkey on the sidelines goes in with a combat roll, but won't find iLock. Still, it could have gone worse, but my goodness, Iangriadai with the flanks.
It's been really important that iLock has constantly had vision in the very top bush of the lane. Every time Paul has tried to sneak in there and be not seen, there's been a scout trap for him to try and pop. So it's been well done by iLock. He's going to probably pick up another scout trap and put another in that top bush, because it's so important they know exactly where Cruel is. Because that top bush in the lane, just in the middle of the lane, is so common that Cruels will just sit there, wait for you to try and get your wave. As soon as you try and get your farm, he'll either throw some Hell's Heart and get the 2-second stun, or he'll just Dead Man's Rush to slow you down. Batiste has now picked up a block, so that's good against this Cruel. But Batiste is trying to 1v1 the Scar, while Cruel is just diving onto Gwen on the backline. Batiste needs to be with Gwen, helping stop Cruel dive, because Catherine can try, but Catherine can't stop Cruel by herself. She only has one stun every few seconds, and so they're going to try and steal the gold, try and take the gold mine. I don't think it is known about, but Cruel is going to go for the steal. Will they get it?
Rubber Monkey, he does have the impale, but that's going to be a no from Official High. Rubber Monkey is very low. They're chasing him down, but they want the Cruel for their first meal. Though Elite 8 not going to be able to capitalize. I thought they were going to go for the chase, but that's not going to be the case. Official High right here, looking for the steal. Gets connected with from Hell's Heart. He's bursted down so much, and he gets immediately punished. Why did he have to go for that one? As it looks like Eanix are on for the chase. iLock is getting slowed down for days with that goop, and Trophies is a speeding Gonzalez into his face. Look at that. And it's going to be an ace for Eanix. And look how the tides have turned. My goodness.
The tides have turned. There's still a 5k gold lead for Elite 8, but I'm pretty sure this century going down, this first turret will reduce that to about 3.5k gold lead now. So much better for Eanix. They got the backs, which is really good for Iangriadai. We've seen the power of the Cruel in that team fight, because he managed to burst down Official Heinz so quickly, and then could just turn his attention to Hunjaeger's. Gwen is really quite quick with that, with the skedaddle. Now has journey boots to try and run away, but Cruel with tier 2 boots and with so many gap closes, when shadows empower him in the bush, when he uses his Dead Man's Rush to get on top of you, you really are going to struggle to run away from a Cruel, especially when your Batista's already been killed. So it's good from Iangriadai. Trophies is just on the backline, dealing the damage. We've seen lots of infusions from Elite 8, but only one set of infusions from Eanix, one from each player. And when the teams are level on infusions, it's really anyone's fight. And Eanix took that one, and I've got a feeling the later this goes on, the more in favour it will be of Eanix. So Elite 8 really have to fight now or never, because if they wait for a bit more time, then Trophies might get an Aegis, might get another damage item, and Scarf's going to be in the late game, going to be doing more damage than Gwen will, and they're just going to get in a worse and worse position the later on that Elite 8 wait.
Well, Official Hein did get caught out heavily in that last clash. Maybe if he stays back a little bit right now. Wylock though, he's going to be face checking, and that should be a dead Catherine. No escape, no surrender, and that's a very free Kraken for the meantime. Will Hunjaegers and Official Hein go for the contest?
I hope they don't go too deep to try and steal this, because if they give up the ace, that's a turret and a Kraken. But Official Hein on this Batiste is fantastic at stealing Krakens. If you get a Fearsome Shade, they cannot do anything while they're just running away from you.
Bad mojo pokes. Can he get it? Oh, that's gonna be close. No, he does not. Here comes I Angry You Die. His from Hell's Heart is on cooldown. Look at how Rubber Monkey chases him on. And there's the slows from the goop, from the itemization there of trophies. And he capitalizes. One more second onto the Impale. Will they go? Here comes Ilock. Goes aggressive. Gets the connection onto the Merciless Pursuit. Here comes On Jaegers with the shots connecting. On Jaegers takes it down. Looking onto I Angry You Die, but I Angry You Die will back away. Kraken will be pushing, and Trophies will be backing up this behemoth. And you know what they say, hell hath no wrath like a Kraken spawn. And they is just, or she rather, is battering down onto the turrets. On Jaegers doing the best that he can to actually stop it. But I Angry to Die, he's here into the sides, has the ultimate as well.
He's just waiting, trying to get a bit of energy, and I think Scarf is too low on energy to really push this next turret. All three members of Elite 8 are up, so I think Eanix won't be too happy with that Kraken push. They only get the choke point turret, but once again, as I said, they just got to fight. They are winning the fights at the moment. They just have to wait, and once Trophies gets that Clockwork last item, then he's really going to have no energy problems with the energy regen you get from Clockwork, and he's going to do so much more damage with the 40% crystal power amplification that Clockwork gives you. Once he builds up Broken Mist stacks, that will just be so much damage to try and contend with. But I think if Eanix wait for Trophies to be able to afford that, I think it's about 500 more gold before he can get it, and then get an infusion and then fight, there really won't be much that Elite 8 can do beside from stopping Cruel getting on top of Jaegers or Official Hein. In all of these team fights that Eanix have won, Cruel has been on top of Batiste or on top of Gwen, and once Cruel's on top of you, you're in a horrible position. I said earlier that Batiste cannot run away, and that is so true. When your Fearsome Shade isn't available, even if you've ordained Cruel, he can block that, and then you can't run away as Batiste. You have to stand there and try and fight him, and you're not going to beat Cruel in a 1v1 fight. And then, so it's all down on Ilock and Official Hein to get their CC on Cruel, stop him diving the backline, and then if Cruel isn't on top of you, he doesn't get his weakness stacks, he doesn't get healing, he doesn't stop your damage, and you can kill him reasonably quickly, reasonably easily.
Yeah. Well, the other funny thing about this one is if you look at both teams' net worth, it's 40k for Elite 8, while there's 37, 36 for Eanix here. So that means that they have, I would say, better itemization. But the problem is, like you said already, this Cruel is something to be dealt with. But, I mean, if they find at least a little bit of their stride, shouldn't they out-damage Eanix?
You see the 3.5k gold lead that Elite 8 have managed to keep. They're only 2 kills behind. They've got Kraken gold and they've taken 1 turret, whereas Eanix have only taken 2. So
Yeah.
You might be tempted to say that Elite 8, they're a bit behind on turrets, but they're probably ahead at this point. But the problem with saying that is Iron Gudai's build is so cheap. He's got Tension Bow and he's got Poison Shiv, 2 extremely cheap items. And Trophies is almost fully built. He just needs an Aegis, and Trophies is fully built. So he's got all the damage, and so the gold lead that they've got isn't really that important because Elite 8 has more expensive items. But even so, Jaegers is going to fall off. He has got 4 damage, which is quite important. Having a breaking point against Cruel and Scarf is a great idea because Cruel's going to be quite a long fight, as will Scarf. So having a breaking point on your Gwen makes a lot of sense. This is going to be a free Kraken for Eanix. I highly doubt that Elite 8 are going to be able to stop this. And yeah, it'll be Cruel. You're not going to steal a Kraken away from Cruel unless you stun him, but that was a crucible for that anyway. And I wouldn't be surprised if Eanix, they don't need to win off this push. They can just take 1 turret and back off and then take another team fight when Scarf maybe gets an Aegis, because there's no need overextending, giving up the ace and letting Elite 8 have a chance to get back into this. Because if they fight in an even setting, they're not diving turrets, they're just fighting anywhere on the fold that isn't in Elite 8's base, then Eanix are probably going to win this.
So now the push is on, like you said, probably going to win this. Rubber Bump down with the Impale. Trophies from the backline as well. So Eanix are methodically pushing this, playing this by the book, slowly but surely, using that Kraken The She-Monster is pushing with Eanix right now. Elite 8 are trying to desperately take her down before Eanix destroys the turret because it's going to be detrimental for them. They go and activates the Fearsome Shade, connecting onto Trophies as well from downtown, and they get the 1 kill. The Kraken is still alive, but it shouldn't be for much longer. Here comes Sun Jaegers, does take in a Spitfire. So 1 death, 2 turrets, and a Kraken. So not too bad for Eanix, but not bad at all as well for Elite 8.
Yeah, Elite 8, again, I said Eanix don't need to be too aggressive. They said they get 1 checkpoint turret and that'd be it. They get the first crystal turret very low, but obviously they don't need to take it. Just wait, don't get caught out, Trophies, what are you doing?
Oh, and here comes the fight. Ilock is here. Wait, Trophies is dealing so much damage. Elite 8 just walked into the vat of life. And here comes the breath of the Dragon's Breath. Trophies going aggressive. He blows up Ilock, but wait, Official Hein, he's angry. There's the bad mojo, and you know when you get too many bad mojos, you're gonna have a bad time. Angry Die, though, will be able to escape at the max range outside of the bad mojo.
And they're going to go with the War Treads to try and find someone, but the player won't connect. Official High. He didn't miss the port, so he's going to try and back up the Sentry. Pale was actually blocked, so that was smart.
Yeah, that was very good.
Both teams going to back off. Vainglory is too low to even try. And it was, again, I said, Trophies, what you doing? You've been caught out, but you got a kill on Catherine. He almost got another kill on Gwen, so Scarf just knows that he's got the damage to turn these fights around. And another 500 gold, and Trophy's going to pick up an Aegis, and then he'll be fully built, and this almost 5k gold lead that Elite have got just won't matter at that point, because once you're fully built, so for Gwen right now, that 1,200 gold extra she's got is completely pointless, because she can't build any more items, she can only re-infuse. And so I think Elite 8, that they'll be slightly confused as to how they've managed to get this gold lead, but still have really no advantage in terms of the game. They've lost almost all their turrets compared to what Eanix have got, and they're not looking like they're going to win these team fights.
We'll just have to see. Angry Die is such a thorn on the side of Elite 8 here. He has been diving for days, this poor Hun Jaegers or Official Hein. Although Official Hein did get a good, I would say, ultimate out of that crystal turret defense, they're still ways off from maybe getting off Eanix. But the Kraken is alive. There's no chance of being, I guess, base raced or...
they could rush the base and try and take down all the turrets, but it's extremely hard. With 2 turrets left, you can do it. Obviously, Scarf has really good turret clear, but it's just not worth it. They're winning the fights anyway, so just win a fight.
And here they go. Fight might break out. They're just chipping at each other. Angry Die from the sidelines. He's really good positioning here. But Elite 8, as of the same time, they know that they can't spot the Crow. They know that he might just pop out from somewhere unexpected, so they're trying to just keep themselves a little bit out of the reach of Eanix while doing damage from afar. But they can't do that as well because Trophies is here, so it's kind of a difficult situation for them. So we'll just have to see.
Something of note is that Trophies has picked up a Crucible, not an Aegis. I was saying that he was 500 gold away from an Aegis, and there's actually going to go in on Rubber Monkey for a bit of damage. No, they're just going to poke, and they're both going to back off.
Angry Dice chasing, using the rush, or rather the move speed boost. He's coming in! Oh no, Official Hein! It's caught out. There's going to be the goop. This is full punishment from Trophies, and there you go. Wait! What was that? The Fearsome Shade to actually stop the aggression here of Eanix. Trying to back away. Oh, Ilock, he's gonna get caught out the sidestep, but it's still not gonna be enough. That was a great Fearsome Shade, but sometimes great is not enough. You gotta go for the best, and Eanix got the best one out of that one.
Yeah, Crucible was up. It's still up for Rubber Monkeys, and he could have tried to block the Fearsome Shade, but the block came out a little bit late from Trophies when he tried to stop that. Did really well to dive in on Batiste and on Gwen, just get to the back line, but I don't think they'll be annoyed that they got feared away, because they got the kill on Catherine, because Eanix, now in this late game scenario, is just so much stronger than Elite 8 are. And as I said, the gold lead is pointless because everyone except Crawl is fully built, and Crawl's doing enough damage as it is. He doesn't necessarily need that extra item. Batista's picked up his broken myth, so I reckon he's going to go, that's it, I can win the fight now, I've got my broken myth. But realistically, just Elite Eanix, all they have to do, be careful, wait for Kraken to take the turrets by herself, and then take the Vein Crystal when Kraken's taking the turrets.
Correct me if I'm wrong, 3 seconds on that goop cooldown plus the Frostburn is really making it difficult for get away from Eanix. So even if the from Hell's Heart doesn't really do anything, it's just that much CC from the goop. But wait, Official Hind into the sidelines. They will be spotting out the Krull. Oh my goodness, he has a lot of damage, or rather a lot of keepaways. He will be able to almost escape, but that Kraken is battering onto the turret. Maybe one more shot. Yeah, he will be able to. Oh wait, hold that thought.
Yes.
Is it gonna be enough?
Yes.
It will. Wow, I thought he wouldn't be able, or she wouldn't be able to get that last bash in, but I was wrong.
Very annoying. Would have been very annoying for Eanix if the Kraken didn't take down that last turret. But again, Eanix don't need to be over aggressive. Krull was standing in a very, very odd position, it seems. But he was just waiting there to hope that maybe Elite 8 aren't going to notice me. Maybe I'm going to be allowed to just take the Vein after the Kraken takes the second turret. But they did notice him. Official Hind, a good fist, a good fear, a good ordained. Once they were both down, Krull went, right, I'm going to dive in and try and kill him. Catherine was there with an Atlas Potion to just stop Krull being able to get the kill onto Batiste. And often we see when there are veins exposed, teams are very bad at getting vision. But I'm definite that Elite 8 are not going to have that problem of a lack of vision. They are definitely ready for the back door, and I highly doubt that Eanix will be able to do that.
Although Eanix don't really have to go for it, they just have to build up a wave and push in, and that might be it. That might be GG, ladies and gents, but we'll just have to see if ever that they can finish off this game. There's still a slight chance that Elite 8 can win this fight, but only if they're able to split up Eanix perfectly, because that Krull is such an annoying hero to deal with.
Yeah, they've been using the Fearsome Shades defensively, as you have to do. You have to get Krull away from your backline. But it's so hard to actually kill someone when you feared them away from you. I think the fact that Iron has to kind of use the fear defensively, but not too defensively, so that they can actually do the damage while they're being feared away. It's going to be tough, but I think it definitely is possible. And Eanix, as soon as Kraken spawns, they're going for it. They're going for her immediately. And unless the Crucible is missed on the Fearsome Shade, Krull should be able to secure that with a Spectral Smite. Actually, Eanix, once it's been spotted, they're going to back off. And Elite 8 maybe want to go for the Kraken themselves. I'd just back away if I were you. I wouldn't let the Kraken be set, and Eanix going to go for it. Krull has no chance of backdoor.
He was spotted out. Oh, there's Aces High connecting. Hundjägers is chasing him down. This could be it. Angry Guy trying to run away. Will he be able to escape? Uses the ultimate by himself to actually stun Hundjägers and provide a little bit of zoning for himself. But that might have been a bad call for Eanix right now, because this is a 2v3 situation. He's backing in. Hundjägers will get caught out. But was that enough damage? I could be wrong here. Official Hind is still here. He's pulling out the bad mojos. Oh my goodness, Ilock gets taken down. It's going to be the 1-for-1 trade. Angry Guy is chasing on to Hundjägers, but Hundjägers was already dead to begin with. Official Hind is right here. Does he have an ultimate? And that's going to be a no. I thought that was a good fight for Elite 8, but I was severely wrong. And this could be it. Actually no turrets remaining, and that Vein is going to be popped.
Yeah, it was good. Well played from Hundjägers to spot Krull out in the Moustache bush. Get the Aces High, to land onto Krull, but then Krull could just run away. He had War Treads, he had a movement speed already, and Krull with 2 blocks, with an Aegis and with a Reflex block, means that there was no chance you were going to lock him down with CC. He was just going to run away from you and keep running away if he needs to. And then once he ran away from Gwen did manage to secure the Kraken with a basic attack, which I suppose Elite would have been happy with. You get that Kraken buff and heal, but once you get hit by an enemy, that's cancelled, and you're in quite a lot of trouble, because trophies with those 4 damage items just scaled far better than Hundjägers could. And You Die, picking a fantastic Krull against the Batiste. I don't think anyone expected Krull to be played, but when he was played, he just absolutely destroyed. So to talk more about that game, about that draft, and how well executed Eanix managed to do it, we've got the analysts of Luxuria and I Request a Duel.
Hello, and that was an amazing game between the side of Eanix and Elite 8. Honestly, that cruel pickup, like Mini said, wasn't quite expected. What do you think Elite 8 could have done? I reckon they could have, probably ended the game a little earlier, just push with their advantage that they got in that very early game, especially with a Gwen when your early game is just so much stronger as compared to your late game. And as Mini said as well, you don't scale as well into Scum. So what do you think Elite 8 could have done, I Request a Duel, to have changed that around?
I mean, what a game for the final match of today, and especially with it being so close. I mean, it's back and forth.